start the webinar. We got to talking so much we didn't even open the door. It's crazy. So let everybody in. Woohoo! All right. So we'll get everybody a minute to get in and get settled. We're really excited today. I'm excited. I figure I'm going to learn something. So I love that. So absolutely love that. Janine, is that your home office?
That is my home office with brand new internet as of yesterday, so I don't lag.
Oh, cool. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so Tony's got the note taker on, which is good. Cool. She's got everybody introed. Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna get this thing kicked off as everybody's kind of loading in here. Before I get to Janine's bio, I just want to let you guys know that the way we're going to handle this as far as Q&A, we're going to do it at the end. We're going to let Janine present what she has to have as far as the content. I would ask you guys to as always, put your questions in the chat. And then when we get to the Q&A portion, we'll go through those as well. So without further ado, we don't have sponsors today because we didn't do anything with sandwiches. So we're going to get right into it. First of all, my name is Rich Kimball. I'm with Cross Country Mortgage and the Kimball team, and we like bringing educational content to our realtor partners. We do it every month. We also have after hours events every month in various locations around Chicago. Our team, which there's 4 of us, 3 licensed loan officers to take care of you guys. Our team can handle loans in all 50 states. We're on call over the weekend, every weekend for you guys, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And ultimately, we look at it this way. Our job is to make sure that when you give us a lead, you get paid for that. So our lead conversion is typically 80% when we get to the end of the month. So anything you give us, we're converting those and getting those turned over back to you guys, getting them fully underwritten, getting them fully approved, and being there for you when you guys make offers so we can pick up the phone, call the listing agent. Now, that's about me and the team. Well, let's get into our speaker over here, and I want to slide something over so I could read this bio to you guys. So Janine Sasso, who I'm happy enough to call a friend for many years. I'm going to read her bio, though, as presented to me. So in a world obsessed with clicks and likes and leads that disappear in the digital void, our guest today is approaching real estate marketing quietly, one mailbox at a time. As founder of the training platform Hyper Local Agents and creator of GeoCentral, a direct mail and CRM platform designed for real estate agents, she champions smart farming and focuses on becoming the name people trust offline. Her career is a lesson in consistent brand building because the agents who commit to their sphere don't just grow their business, they grow relationships. If you're ready to go on a journey and discover how mailers can work for you guys, let's welcome Janine to the webinar. Janine, I turn it over to you. How did I do with that, right?
You did amazing. I'm like, awesome intro. Man, look at that. All right, so we've got a whole lot to cover, and I'm not a big fan of just listening. I love interaction. I like visuals. I'm a highly visual person. So I got slides for you. So if you're listening in and driving, don't worry. I will try my best to paint the picture for you. And if you are in front of a computer or watching from your phone, awesome, even better. Rich, thank you so much for having me on. Obviously, you know that part of this is in conjunction to me releasing my 3rd and final book on direct mail. So I have launched Success with Real Estate Mailers, which is all about my farming endeavors and getting cold people, right? Cold leads, people that don't know me, actually know who I am, even if it's just, oh, aren't you that agent? I'm still working on, aren't you Janine Sasso? So eventually, right, we'll get there. Always room for improvement. Um, and then I did write listing marketing books. Success was Just Listed and Just Sold. And now we are releasing the 3rd and final, which for many of you is probably something that you should be getting into first and foremost, which is the magical world of repeat and referral business. It's all about turning these clients into raving fans, strangers into advocates, while living your best hamster wheel free life. And I say that because, again, I'll get into a lot of these things, but I'm a big, big believer in working as efficiently as humanly possible in today's world. I got into real estate thinking, oh, I'm going to be my own boss and I can, have time freedom and be home with my kids. And then I realized real estate was actually a lot of work. It all worked out. So we'll get to that part. But that all said, I want to go crush through some of these slides because I think Q&A is always the funnest part to actually apply it to your business itself. And there's a lot of frameworks in here. And courtesy of Rich having me on, I did give them chapter 1 of the book, which they will be emailing you completely free. And I did go a little bit more than chapter 1 because Richard and his team are amazing. Okay, so they got actually a little more than just the sneak peek. They got a whole bunch of, oh my gosh, this is hopefully really, really good. So, disclaimer, I do run these classes and webinar slides, so it is educational, informational purposes. You guys are your own business owners. Okay, I have invited the entire plethora of my list, which goes from coast to coast. So I am in Illinois. Many of you guys know that. And what I talk to is what I can do here. You need to make sure you follow your rules, right? Nothing crazy about it. So, first up, if you haven't met me, hi, I'm Janine. I'm your host for today. And I got into real estate for freedom to be a mom to two young kids, right? That's what I already said. And it really was this realization like, wow, this is hard. Anybody ever felt like this? Like, where did this come from, right? I know on the lender side too. So something really needed to change. And in 2017, I started to really focus on farming. And with farming came also sending postcards and becoming the neighborhood agent. And my first postcard went out and I was hooked and I extended it into 3 branches of my business. One of them is farming, one of them is listing marketing, and the third one is SOI, staying in touch with people that trusted me. So that's what I get to share with you today. So first up, why are you here, right? So what if I told you I spent $39 and made $52,000? Kind of sounds bananas, right? And you're like, yeah, I want to spend 30 bucks and 40 bucks and make like $50,000 plus. That's awesome. How about this one? Or what if I told you that I spent $19 to make $33,000? It's like you want to measure return on our lead gen. You want to measure, right, what we can do. Um, we're going to talk about this because this is not magic. This is all based on building a system out for your real estate business. And I'm going to lay out the entire system for you, step by step by step. So this way you have exactly like a next step. What's next? We're actually going to end today with like a little staircase so you can scaffold based on where you're at. Okay, so if I'm covering something today and you're like, oh, I know that already, it's great. Find that step that you maybe don't have in place. Fair? All right. So this here is the graphics. You'll find those in the book that's releasing, and it is in the chapter I gave Richard and his team. This is the truth behind what happens when you pour into your past clients. Repeat and referral business is amazing. Our lender partner love it because I'm generally listing heavy. However, these listings turn over. And then these people come and say, hey, I need to sell my house because I want to buy something. So even though I started out my career generally listing heavy, I do have a decent amount of buyers that I get to now refer to amazing lender partners like the Kimball team. So when you look at this one, it all started with one person, right? Jessica. Jessica had to sell a house. She bought a new one. And clearly you see on these prices, this was actually one that I did right at the verge before COVID went crazy, right? But that was the start. From there, she introduced me to her sister. Her sister was just getting married. Her and her fiance were looking for a house to have all the wedding gifts stored properly. That's what we did next. Sold her sister a house. Then mom came along and said, I want to be closer to my girls. You put both of them in that direction, but I live over here, right? Move me. And she was renting, so nothing to sell there, but we purchased a home for her. Jessica, throughout these couple years, I spent a whole $19 on her. $19 that turned into $33,000. Okay. You've heard it before, I'm sure, from many, many other agents when referrals are coming in. I will tell you that I did not have a big sphere. And I will tell you the reason this book is releasing last is because I had to work up my past clientele. When you're brand new in an area, you know nobody. I had no sphere, no past clients, no nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay, guess I better go and find some cold leads to convert them into clients. But as your business grows, right, and many of you went to school here, many of you know a lot of people because you have actually lived here for quite some time. I was originally born and raised in Germany, so that's where I went to school, that's where I graduated, and all of that wonderful thing. So a little bit of my backstory, why my past was just a little bit different. But that's why this is now really becoming a focus because it is the second best pillar in my business. So again, the other story over here, very similar. Here's Jay. Jay actually came from farming, as did Jessica, by the way. But it went from there to the son, the friend of the son, another friend, another friend, another friend. And $39 in marketing spent later, $50,000 in commission. That is bananas, guys. This is bananas on the ROI. Yes, if you are with me, type bananas. Yes, we like crazy words, and we're going to have you guys type and engage. Okay? But that's why you're here. I hope at least, right? That's what we're going to spend the hour with. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this one phone call that changed all, truly. And I was new in real estate, right? Pre-COVID. So it was an in-office thing, like people would go to the office, was kind of cool. And I watched veteran agents get call after call, right? Listings were rolling in what seems like an invisible conveyor belt. Ever had this, scenario, especially for you that have been in an office prior to COVID? You walk in and there's this top producing agent office, right? And they're always like on the phone and doing things. And you're like, man, they're always so busy. I want to get there. So that's really what started me getting obsessed with how can I stay in touch? How can I stay in touch with them? And I wanted to know what was that magic behind it, right? How was this possible? So that became my premise to make sure when I had a client that I closed, which initially was renters and buyers in my first year, I'm like, how can I stay in touch? How can I be that person that they will not forget in like a decade? I mean, it used to be 7 years until somebody moves again, right? Now it's actually 10 years. How do you stay in touch with somebody for a decade without being like, you want to sell now? Like, let's do something. So that became the hunt. Years went by, right? I started building my past client bucket into a pretty sizable amount. And yes, I used to actually follow the old school advice, call them once a quarter, because that's what I found online. How many of you have found that advice? Heard about that advice? Right? Oh, we got a lot of bananas in there. I love it. All right. You've heard the advice. Stay in touch. Call them. How's that going for you? Right? So fast forward to that phone call that changed all. An agent that has been in business for 20 plus years called. He was drowning in past client check-ins. He actually did have an assistant, so he was as lucky as Richard is to have Tony here, right? And that assistant was actually the one doing the check-in calls. Now, US salary being what it is, and it was an assistant job, so I'm guesstimating here. I didn't look up these numbers, okay? But I'm gonna assume, all right, maybe that assistant, 4,000-ish dollars a month is not gonna get you far, I get it, but let's assume that's what it is. If you have 1 week that it took this assistant to call, this just cost you about $1,000 in labor for one reach out once a quarter. Everybody make sense? Right? That assistant was the one calling. He had about 400 past clients, and everybody got a phone call. Sometimes she left a message, sometimes she talked to them, didn't matter. It took his assistant 1 week of paid labor to make one reach out, and that cost that agent about $1,000 a quarter to make sure she got paid. Now, I looked at the system that I had created in the meantime, and it didn't require a phone call, and it didn't require that much labor. It was actually scalable from day one. So I didn't realize it at first, but I got accidentally lucky to have done something because I am phone adverse. I hate talking on the phone, which is so weird because as a teenager, I had like hour-long conversations with my friends. Um, and we would just chat, and that was, before cell phones were a thing. So my parents would always yell at me, "Get off the phone!" And that was before things were unlimited. So it was always like the phone bill came, and I knew I had to hide from my parents. So, but when it comes to like talking to people I do business with, like, I don't know, it just didn't come natural. And what did come natural was the system I created. So what was the system? Postcards, right? So that's what we're going to talk about here. And not only that, but my clients were actually 3 times more likely to remember me. And I'm going to explain the math behind this a little bit, but 3 times more likely that they would remember who I am after that decade of maybe not needing my services. So, what's the math behind it, right? Before I do, everybody's familiar with the Ford model. If not, I'm going to explain it real quick, just so we're all on the same page. The old school mentality when it comes to the Ford model is that you're going to get on the phone and you're like, "Hey, how's the family? Awesome. Hey, how you doing in your job, by the way? Did you get the promotion I saw the other day? Nice. Hey, do you have any vacation plans?" Right? Nice. By the way, did you do that kitchen remodel you had planned on? Awesome. And then there's the big question. Do you know anybody needing to buy or sell? Right? And it just became this like, I can't do this. It just doesn't feel right. Our clients changed, society changed, right? Industrial revolution, AI revolution, and now here we are. So let's talk a little bit about that system. His system was built on Ford. 400 clients, 1 week of labor, $1,000 for that 1 week. He ended up with one reach out per client per quarter. Not bad, right? Let me show you my system. Assuming there's 400 clients, because I wanted it to be even, okay? It took me about 1 hour of labor. I still paid $1,000 a quarter. However, I reached my clients not once, but 3 times. Now you decide who's going to be much more top of mind. The agent that does one time or the agent that does show up 3 times. Kind of, right? I know, setting up for failure here. No. So again, I wanted the client number to be the same because the nice thing is both of these systems, they scale with you, right? If you only have 20 past clients, obviously that's a whole lot less labor, a whole lot less money out, but so is the other system. But in a world of time constraints, 1 hour of labor versus 1 week, that is huge. That is where I can actually go and be the mom my kids need when they get off the bus at 3 o'clock, right? 1 hour of labor means that I can actually do other things to grow my business, which I've done, in a much, much more efficient way. Staying in front of, for the same amount of money, okay, same amount of money here, he paid $1,000 to the assistant to do one reach out a quarter. I end up sending 3 postcards to one client for essentially the same. And I went with today's numbers just to make it equal. Okay, so 78 cents per postcard is what that math entailed. So you go ahead, do the math. It's actually 930 some dollars, but again, close enough. Now, you've heard it before, right? The agent that can outspend other agents will win in the long run. I don't have to triple. I don't have to make this a monthly thing, right? Like he would. He would spend $3,000 to get to my reach outs. So that became a really, really scalable way. So that's the system. That's the book that's releasing. And we'll talk about that one at the end because all of that is in there step by step by step as well. Okay. But that is that one phone call where I realized I got to talk about it. I got to tell more people. So what we're going to cover today is the one phone call that changed it all. I'm already halfway through that one. I'm going to show you different types of postcard, and we're going to talk about the next level in relationship marketing. So if you are tired of the word AI, you're in a good spot. Okay. No, direct mail is not old school, but it is highly leveraged. And we've got some fun stats. So let's roll this one and figure out the rest here. The one phone call, the system that changed it, it was a more predictable system that runs regardless if you feel like showing up. Let's all think back to that assistant. What if she got COVID? What if something happened personally, right? What if she was in a bad mood? That's like probably one of the like best things about AI. You can always have a cheerful person on the other end of the line, right? But what if she was in a bad mood? What if something happened in her family life that just didn't have her be her normal, usual self? We've all felt this, right? We're all impacted. We're human. You also had all of a sudden full leverage, right? It didn't matter if I had one past client or 1,000 past clients. My efforts remained the same. It was 1 hour of labor. That's it. Physical touch. Data suggests that most people trust physical pieces as there's real money tied to it. They understand when people send real stuff to you, they have spent real money. And that in itself creates value, right? Direct mail is also one of the oldest and most trusted things that people are aware of. It has the most branding capabilities. The brand recall is actually really, really high with direct mail. It also serves as a mini billboard. When was the last time you actually handed out a business card? I send one 12 times a year, right? I send cards where somebody says, oh yeah, here, my agent actually just sent that. You should give her a call, right? And really, at the end of the day, it doesn't require me. Instead of hiring an assistant for a week, I can just train my assistant to take over my 1 hour of work and do it for me, right? She can get the postcard customized. I mean, she can show it to me and be like, are you good with this one? I can just check mark it off. And that's it. We could sit down once a year and talk about the entire next 12 months. And that to me is a true business model. That to me is where a real estate agent becomes an entrepreneur, becomes a business owner. And somehow, somewhere along the lines, I made that switch. Now, 87% of people consider mail to be believable compared to 48% for email. Okay, how many of you guys feel like sometimes you get an email and it's like, that can't be right? Give you an example. I got a call yesterday from a McHenry number. I bought my car in McHenry County. And that one said, hey, by the way, we got a payoff request for your car loan. I'm like, I didn't initiate that, right? How many of you think that I called back? Just type yes. And how many of you think that I didn't call back? Type no. Okay. Nope. Brittany says yes. Mari says no. Tracy, no. Karen, no. Tammy, no. Okay. Richard thinks I called back. I didn't call back. It's just I didn't initiate the payoff request. I don't know if it was real or not. For all I know, my car loan is still there for another couple of months. It is what it is. I will live. But it sounded really believable. But even though it sounded believable, I still stopped in my tracks, right? I'm like, well, maybe I have a GM financial loan. I'm like, maybe GM is in trouble. Who knows, right? I started speculating, but tariffs and all, right? But I didn't call back. I didn't take action because it just didn't feel believable. Now imagine they would have sent me an email. Hey, thanks for that payoff request. Guess what I would have done there? Nah. Let's assume they sent a text message, right? Amazing open rate, all of that good stuff. No, not so much. So that's an interesting one when you really think about all the components with it. Now, 70% of people said mail rather than email gave them a better impression of the company that sent it. All right. 70% of consumers say mail makes them feel valued as a customer. Crazy. People actually like to get mail? Yes, because you're not sending a bill, right? Now, that all said, I hope you see why I'm so obsessed with mail. And we're going to move into some of the actual postcards because I always hate attending these things and it's all fluffy stuff and no, like, let's talk about the real stuff. I do have a couple examples that I'm going to show you on screen here as we go. But I picked 6 different types of postcards for your SOI. I think my book breaks down 8 or 9 of them. But I picked my favorite 6 because yes, I have favorites. Don't tell the postcards that I have favorites. But the goal here is really do 2 of each every year or pick one theme for 12 months. And that's enough content for 6 years. Okay? So you'll see in a minute when I say the theme. So starting off with a checklist. Let me give you a checklist. This one here, I know it's a little small. Don't worry, the book has all the graphics, I promise. This one here is a checklist, right? It's a fall scavenger hunt. It's meant to get people out and have an experience. Remember, my past clients are probably not going to call me today and be like, hey, Janine, thanks for buying the house last week. Can we sell it? That's not going to happen. So how can I insert myself in a fun little way? And in this one, it was just an experience, right? A simple checklist. Another checklist, that one is coming up a little bit more, right? Winter maintenance. Like I forget all the things. I own a house and I probably don't do half the things. So it's kind of nice to have and be like, honey, did you cover the AC unit? I mean, at least I can ask somebody else to do it. So if yeah, Rich knows what I'm saying. He's like, yep, I get these honey-dos. Those are the
Yeah.
greatest.
Freeze warning tonight. I forgot to shut off one of the faucets.
Oh,
So
look, disconnect hoses. So
there you go.
it's a fun one, right? It is really just about being helpful, being there, and kind of sending some reminders because life is busy. And some of our buyers never owned a home. They wouldn't know. All right. Next one. This one is a fun one. We've got a declutter challenge, for example, coming up. That's actually not the one. Let me find it. I'll show you the other one. There you go. Let's do this one. That's the actual bingo. This bingo came about during COVID when everybody was stuck at home. So we sent them a bingo, said, hey, did you watch Tiger King? Tiger King was actually on the bingo card. If you guys remember during COVID, everybody went crazy for that show because we were all stuck at home, nothing to do, right? I've never watched it, by the way, but it was on the card because everybody talked about it. And of course, there was like sold a house, bought a house, thinking about buying a house. Well, a little bit of fun stuff in there. But a fun bingo one, that's an easy one to do. We actually have created one too for the elf on the shelf. Obviously, we can't call it the elf on the shelf, right? But anybody else, like a parent here and struggle with putting this silly thing in like weird positions and coming up with stuff, yes, there's the internet. But hey, why not just have a quick little checklist? Can look at it and be like, yeah, let's do this. So that is the bingo mailer. It's fun, it keeps them engaged, and you can theme it for a lot of different things. So next one, fun things to do. Oh, I like that one. Anybody ever have like company come in and they're like, oh, like again, I live in Chicago, outside of Chicago, but they're like, oh, you're by Chicago, we should go and explore it. Okay, cool. Now they have a resource. I want to stick around, okay? I want to stick around. 25 things to do in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff downtown, but I want to keep that because, I know there's going to be somebody coming in and they're going to ask me, what do you want to do? Um, all the touristy stuff is there. Let's visit Wrigley Field. Let's see the Field Museum of Chicago. How about the Botanic Garden in Glencoe, right? So again, you can do a lot of these in different ways. You could find 25 pumpkin farms if you're in the country. You could find 25 addresses for Christmas lights, 25 places to see the creepiest Easter bunny costumes, right? There is so much fun you can have with them to really make this something people hold on to and look forward to. Now, the next one is a maze. We send one out, and the concept behind this is kind of like this one was Valentine's Day, right? It's the interactivity that is on there. And when you look at the start, right, and it leads to the house. Now, this one here was it's time to fall in love with your dream home. We've done one for Halloween, which like real estate is not so scary if you talk to an expert. And then it had like an arrow, to the expert person on the postcard. So that is another one. And again, you can theme it. You can ask ChatGPT, hey, the crazy lady on this webinar today said to do this, but it's too short notice for Halloween. I'm thinking if I can do something for Thanksgiving, right? It's like, yeah, create like a turkey maze walkthrough and crack a turkey joke, right? If that's your personality. Next up, the calendar. Again, I told you we're going to go through this pretty rapidly, but this one here is a calendar example. You also could do music events, baseball schedules, football schedules, farmers market, music events. I already have that one. Point being is that these have longevity, okay? I go on listing appointments from these 11 months after I sent those. That is the longest longevity postcard there is. And yes, I sent them pretty religiously. You should too. All right, now we got the challenge mailer. That's why I pulled this one out. I'm like, I knew I had this one out for a reason. The declutter challenge, again, that's a favorite, especially with the new year coming up. I actually started cleaning up my office. I spoke earlier this morning at our board. Now I'm here, and in between, I'm like, I'm gonna clean up my office a little bit. It always seems like we have too much stuff. I don't know. I feel like I'm always decluttering. Things are always out of place. Or my children are bringing home stuff where I'm like, we don't need this. So this is one where you could go room by room by room, right? I'm sure you can find 12 rooms around the house. Garage, kitchen, bedroom one, bedroom two, right? There's a lot of different ways to stretch this one into a 12 months campaign if you wanted to. Join me for 1 year to get your house cleaned up like nobody else's business. Um, we did some other ones, and these are actually releasing next year. Let me see. Trying to figure out how to fan them so you guys can see. But essentially, right, those are maintenance ones that are going over the home, self, car, and a quick project. This one here is a favorite, junk drawer purge. Yes, my junk drawer that I said I was not gonna have after my kitchen remodel is back. It's back. I don't know how, but they have a habit of coming back. So that's that one. All right. If you want more visuals, it'll be in the book. Okay, there's 30 mail design examples in there. I tried to pick some of the most relevant ones. Again, those are personally my favorites. And it's really just a matter of what else can you spin off of it? How can you make it fun? I mean, I think you guys know at this point, I have a lot of fun with my postcards. And I much rather do that than dial a number, wait for it to ring, right? And be like, ring, 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 ring. Oh no, caller ID, it's my agent. I'm not going to pick up. Then I feel bad. Then they feel bad because they ignore me. And then when they really have to sell their house, they don't want to call me back because they feel bad that they ignored me for 3 years straight. Will I care? Absolutely not. Will their human mentality say this is not the right thing to do? You can't ignore your agent and then just call her out of the blue and say, hey, come sell my house? Again, we don't care. But remember how they might feel, okay? All right, couple stats for you here. 74% of marketers actually agree direct mail delivers the best conversion rate of all the channels a company uses today. That is a 2023 stat. 75% of business mail stays in the home for over 4 weeks and is revisited an average of 5 times. I know, we're putting Facebook posts to shame here with their short little impression, and then they're gone for the rest of eternity. Direct mail response rates are 5 to 9 times higher than any other advertising channel, by the way. And now that we've covered all of that, I told you exactly the why we're doing this and what are we doing. I want to give you the next step. Everybody feeling good about this?
Yep.
We're going to take a quick little poll. Are we good? Tell me yes. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's doing good? Okay, I know. We're doing rapid fire today because, well, I'm already talking 35 minutes. See? Time flies when you're having fun.
You're well caffeinated, right, Janine?
Yeah, half a cup. It's all I need, actually.
There
Don't
you
give
go.
me two. It gets dangerous if I have two. I'm like the Energizer Bunny and I don't stop. All right, so let's level up the referrals. Next level of relationship marketing. I'm gonna be honest, I believe in automation. Okay. Automations let you never fall off the bandwagon. And because I hate the feeling of being behind. Anybody else? Right? I don't like feeling behind. I feel like if I'm having, let's say, happy birthdays, right? If you always do a happy birthday text on Facebook, and then you're like, it's vacation. I'm going to step away because it's my husband and my anniversary, and we don't have the kids. I'm actually going to take a break from my business because it's mentally good for you to do that. So you step away and you come back and you feel behind. Who likes to come back from vacation? Like, I don't, right? Now you could work ahead and be like, I'm just going to do all the happy birthdays now, right? Now that's kind of weird, but okay. Um, by the way, I'm not going to work next week, but I see your birthday's coming up, so happy pre-birthday. By the way, it's bad luck in Germany, at least where I grew up, so I do not pre-celebrate birthdays. Again, fun little weird things, right? I also believe in real human relationships. As much as I don't like people, it sounds terrible, but I like to be home, read a book, be by myself. I'm a big, big believer in real human relationships. I don't need to have 100 of them, right? You've heard the saying before, if you can count your good friend on one hand when you die, you had a good life. Real human relationships, right? I also think that leveraged with automations and AI can just make you a happier human being. Okay. So, and I'm curious on this one. I haven't run this class before, and I really want your input, right? If you were to automate some of these relationship touches that you currently do, and I know so many of you guys do handwritten note cards. I know so many of you are sending happy birthday video messages over Facebook Messenger. I know there's a lot you guys do for your past clients. What if I tell you you can automate that all, right? Like, what are your thoughts? What is your initial pushback in your gut saying? Is it like, nobody can replace me? Like, I'm me, right? Or if I don't call, it's not real and therefore it's not authentic, right? Or people will know and they feel like I don't care, which couldn't be further from the truth. It's just that we're a lot more efficient. And when people are efficient, they tend to rest better. When they rest better, they tend to work better. Crazy how this actually works. When you're well rested, you actually show up as a best version of yourself versus the drained one. Um, Again, let me know what would happen if you were put your follow-up with your past clients on autopilot. I want to know what your fear is around that topic. And maybe you don't have any. Maybe you're like, no, I'm going to automate it all. Let ChatGPT talk to my clients. I highly doubt it. No fear here. You're not helping, Rich. If I tell you ChatGPT is going to start talking to your clients only after the closing, you have no more say whatsoever, right? Right. Mari loves herself. Lose the personal touch, right? Maybe I'm going to have to train ChatGPT really, really hard to make sure it's going to sound like you. The cost, that's a good one, right? So LoopPC is cost. And one of the things I talk about a lot is when it comes to the resources we all have, okay? All of us have two resources, only two. That's it. Any idea what it is? Two resources that we all can draw from.
Time and money.
Time and money. One is replenishable, the other one is not. And that sat with me for the longest time because I like to save money. Like I used to coupon, I used to do all the things to save money. I love saving money, right? Um, I hate wasting money. I hate going out because I'm like, I don't know. It's like spending money on a restaurant that I then, later not have with me anymore. Anyhow, um, but the cost of it. And when I look at the cost of it, I'm like, okay, time versus money. If I sit down, when was the last time you guys wrote a handwritten note card? This is not quick. All of a sudden, there goes average 3 to 5 minutes. Opening it, thinking about what to say. Maybe you have to look up at their social so you can find something to talk about, because it's their turn to get a greeting card. Then you have to actually stuff it. Then you got to make sure I have the address pulled up, right? Make sure you're going to get something on there. 3 to 5 minutes on one note card, okay? Now repeat that. You want to write 10, right? There goes an hour. Not bad, but I'm not going to get that hour back for the 10 people I wrote to. 1 hour, 10 people. Now, if we do the math, everybody here has an hourly worth, okay? If I automate it, let's say I'm going to send them a postcard, 78 cents. And now I'm going to go ahead and do that for 10 people. I'm at $7.80 at current postage rate. Okay? $7.80. And I still have my hour. I mean, I guess this is going to take a minute too, but you can hire somebody, right? These, by the way, take me about 10 minutes. So it's like 780 in 10 minutes, or well, still 780 plus material cost, right? And at least an hour. The time versus money principle is just something you're gonna have to sit with on your own eventually. And you realize that we all get on the bus. Bus goes, right? First you graduate, then you have some fun. Maybe you get married, maybe you have kids. Kids graduate, right? You finish your job, you go retire, and this bus doesn't go back, right? Like that's the analogy that really stuck with me. You get on the bus and you don't get off this bus until that bus ride is done. There is no back button, right? So for me, it was a matter of, okay, how can I leverage it? How can I make sure this is all tying itself together for me and my business? And that's where the human aspect really needed to get a little bit more automation. But I also think that we do that need that human connection, right? In the world of AI, it is really just important to do that. And chances are you're already doing that extra little thing, right? We're talking about leveling up the marketing. How many of you are celebrating clients' home anniversaries? Oh yeah, we should have warned them. This is totally interactive. How many of you are celebrating a client's home anniversary? Yep. Right? Most of us are. And if we're not, it's okay. We're going to scaffold today, right? The goal of this is for you to figure out what's your next thing. Text them every year, right? That's what I used to do. I sent them a text. I actually would prepare a mini CMA and send it to them in the mail or drop it off in person if they were close by, right? Kind of like a snapshot, almost like what HomeBot does. Just I don't believe in doing it every month. I think it loses value. But the truth here is that there's a funnel after the closing table, okay? There is a funnel after the closing table. And when I say funnel, you guys know it's like getting people to know you, getting people to like you, getting people to trust you, right? We're all going through the same funnel on the top. Is it okay if I show you the one after? If the answer is no, I'm not going to show it to you. That's fine.
Show it to us.
I mean, what's the funnel after the closing table? How many of you have a funnel after the closing table? The funnel after the closing table is actually not so much a funnel as much as it is a flywheel. And you can see monthly postcards right there, right? Also, weekly email. When you're looking at establishing a flywheel of what's next to churn your little engine, round and round it goes, right? Happy home anniversaries, most of you are already doing because it comes natural to us as agents to say, hey, it's been another year since we bought a house, right? It's easy for us to stay in touch with that one. Probably the same from a lender side. It's like, yeah, that was a big milestone we had together. It bound us together. That was our story. Happy home anniversary or happy selliversary, whatever you want to call it. I actually do have one for sellers because sometimes I encounter sellers. They have a little condo in Florida that they've owned for the last bazillion years. So they just sell their house here and then they move there. So I don't even get to help them buy something, but I'll still reach out. Been another year since you moved. How's life, right? And yes, it's automated. But a happy home anniversary, it's an easy one. The one that truly changed a lot of things for me, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as a next level up, is happy birthdays. I did talk about the book in it because I think it just became such a valuable part of me getting more referrals. And the reason I say that is I've had clients who, after closing, right, I would send them a text message, I would send them happy home anniversary, nothing. Crickets. Anybody ever had that client? Yeah. I mean, if you've been in business long enough, it kind of is one of those inevitable, right? You did all the things right. You negotiated an amazing deal for them. You got them the credits. You did all of it. You beat out another 30 plus offers, God knows what, right? And then the home anniversary rolls around. And you're like, hey, happy anniversary. How's everything? Crickets. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to give up. You do it again. You do it again, right? You do it again. And eventually you're like, right? I'm like, can I get a thank you? Like something? It's really the indicator of we are a service-based business. You are a service. And personally, I'm not looking to get invited to their graduation parties of their kids, and I'm not looking to get invited to their birthday parties, right? But I'm a big believer in I want to make sure I have a great relationship. Now, birthdays, the minute I inserted birthdays, and I got an example right here. That is actually what I sent them. It's a mini piece of cake, okay? A mini piece of cake and a card, and the card is like personalized, so it would have their name on it. Just a simple card, it's printed. Yes, it got me all over it because, again, business expense. Clients that have not talked to me or sent thank you on my happy home anniversary started reaching out. I have like a 100% reply rate on this. 100% of people. Oh, thank you so much. Because when you get a gift, your parents taught you to say thank you. And if not, I probably don't want you as a client anymore, right? And you're not going to get a piece of cake. But at the end of the day, when people receive that extra little next touch, it becomes, oh, wow, who else is doing that, right? We just celebrated my son's 7th birthday, and he got one card, and it wasn't from his parents. I can tell you that much. It came from grandma. Um, I know, right? Grandma is a big believer in cards. Um, but when you look at cards, think back about your last birthday. How many birthday cards did you get? Right? So when you're looking to stand out where there's less noise. I'm not looking to stand out on Facebook. I'm not looking to stand out on Instagram, right? My birthday this year, I had over 400 messages blowing up my Facebook page, and I loved every one of them. I haven't read any of them. Yes, I felt very loved. No, I could not go through it. It lost effectiveness. Not just that, but I also knew that Facebook was going to pre-type the message for some of these people. Some of these people probably just hit happy birthday, Facebook balloon, and it's like, oh, it's Janine's birthday. And it just goes out. That's it, right? Um, that's not relationship marketing anymore. So now the question is, what else could you do? So weekly email, I do send a weekly email to my database where I generally just talk about everything under the sun, and I batch these out so they get pre-scheduled. I sit down for an hour and get those done. And an annual client event, I've hosted these. This is actually the first year where I'm switching it up a little bit, and versus having a centered client event, I'm inviting all my clients to all my farming events, which has been working super well, and it's been reducing me needing to do more things on the hamster wheel. But as you are building relationships, an annual client event can be a fantastic addition to it. All right, now talk to you about the birthday. I do want to go a little deeper, just a little, because when it comes to the birthday, it's about the science for me, okay? Neuroscientists have proof that celebrations have a positive impact on our brain. I'm a big number person. I don't like to give gifts just because it's fun and foofy, okay? I'm in it for the business part of it. But when you celebrate, right, it releases oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins. All of these are very, very good things, by the way, in our body that we should probably have more of, right? All of that lowers the stress hormone cortisol and gives us a sense of feeling good. Now you know why you smile when people say happy birthday. And the research suggests that oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins indeed play roles in memory enhancement. Okay? What's your role as a real estate agent? What's your job? Your job is to stay top of mind. Now, if you have memory enhancement happening because people actually feel good when your name comes up, guess what's easier to stay top of mind? So that's a little bit of the nerdiness behind it. I have a couple examples here. Again, I already showed you mine. Birthday gifts, home anniversary gifts, right? We've had an agent using like popcorn and little birthday cakes, all of it on brand, all of it created by the agents. Okay, so you can put your brand on this, and we do change it out every year. Like I don't want to send the same happy birthday card twice in a row. But after you have like 3, 4, 5 designs, you can just circulate it. People will not remember. Okay. Now, 57% of people said that postcards marketing makes them feel more valued, and it does create a more authentic relationship. Okay, well, direct mail can generate positive emotional responses. Okay, piece of paper. That's crazy. Now, there's a little bit of a dark side when it comes to birthdays. I did put it here because in my research, I did stumble upon it and I thought it was too good not to include that there is a dark side to birthdays. And in the world of psychology, they call it the birthday effect. Anybody familiar with that one? The birthday effect. I know. Maybe we have some psychology majors here. Now, the birthday effect is a statistical phenomenon where an individual's likelihood of death appears to increase on or close to their birthday. Actually, really interesting. And so what if your reach out could actually save a life? I know, we went really, really deep here, right?
Yeah.
Remember, it is about the science, right? It is about the science behind it. What we do here can truly have an impact, not just for your referral business, but for somebody else's life. And when people feel good when they hear your name, you just have a positive impact in the world to start with. There's a couple examples of messages that I get. Thank you, Janine. Could only take a picture of one as the other one disappeared in my mouth quickly. They're delicious. They are ridiculously delicious. My husband said, sweet, 2 brownies for me. It's always the husband trying to get all of that. Here's another one. Thanks for my brownies. My husband gobbled the first one up. What is it with the husbands? Um, so I also had a client reach out and say, hey, I'm wondering, I can't really eat it because I'm gluten-free. We get those in gluten-free versions too. So that is the interaction with my client where I can personalize it and be like, no problem. I'm going to send you a gluten-free one. And out the door it goes. Remember, brain and heart, right? Bring it all together. It makes for happy referrals all around. For those of you wondering, okay, isn't that expensive, right? I've looked at Cheryl's cookies and all of that stuff. I'm going to give you a couple real numbers I pulled from my own account of how much it actually ended up costing me. And there is the postage cost varies because depending on where you're at in the country. But my all-in cost was under $9 for what we call the affordable Happy Birthday campaign. We have the Happy Birthday and Half Birthday campaign, which cost me just under $15 per person. And of course, there is the Happy Birthday card only, which is like $3 when you look at all of it. And if you wanted to just send one card for the birthday instead of a half birthday and a birthday card, it would end up being like $1.50. Believe me, you're gonna spend more at Hallmark to get a birthday card. And even if you go to the dollar store, you're still gonna end up spending $1.25 for 10 of them, plus the postage, plus you have to take out your time, right? So overall, $1.56, I don't think it gets much more affordable than that. So just a little bit to put the numbers in perspective. All right, let's bring it full picture. Pretty much almost done. Strangers, followers, clients. That's the top of the funnel, right? That's the bottom of the funnel. This is where your repeat and referral business comes in. You are skipping the strangers and followers top of mind part. When you get referral, they go straight into that client bucket, making you extremely profitable on it. Now that you have all the ideas, right? Let's focus it back on one thing. I hope you got something out of there, right? But let's focus it back. Start with level 1. If you are not sending out something to your SOI every single month, this is level 1, okay? If you're sending it once a quarter, step it up, okay? 12 business months, mini billboard, every month. These people have paid for your mortgage. These people have paid for your health insurance bills. These people have paid for your children's extracurriculars because they've trusted you with the transaction, okay? let's make sure you are feeding the machine the right way and where the money belongs. Okay, the money does not belong with Zillow or Homes.com. Now, scaffolding the system, that's really the build out. Start small, right? Start small. I did not start what you saw today. I scaffolded. Reinvest profits, right? Reduce the time that you're spending. Add the next layer. This, what you've seen today, is 10 years in the making. Okay? 10 years. And I always like to say that because we all have our own journey, right? Some of you guys maybe just got licensed. So monthly mail touches, and then from there, see what is your next step. Home anniversaries is oftentimes the logical one for most people, right? Get these consistent, build a system around it. Add a birthday, referral thank yous, post-closing. But currently, that's my next one is actually post-closing journey. The question is, can I train people to refer more? And I believe I can. So we're actually about to embark on a post-closing journey to make sure we are getting more referrals from our past clients, solicit them and train them after the transaction closes. So that's also in the book, by the way. So what do we cover? The one phone call that changed it all. Do not be that guy that ends up having an assistant call 400 plus clients if you're 20 plus years in, right? If you're in right now for 2, 3, 4 years, you're starting to see your past clients compounding. We talked about the different types of postcards, right? A lot of these here. I don't know if we talked about this one, but happy birthday or happy birthday.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas card. Okay. We have the next level in relationship marketing. I covered that scaffold for you too to make sure if you're doing something already, you still get something out of this. And this one here is obviously the whole reason I was here today. Success with SOI Postcards is releasing on the 28th of this month. We have a huge amount of pre-orders already, but obviously I want to get this in more agents' hands because that is truly how I got off the hamster wheel, how I built my real estate business. And that's why I get to do now what I get to do. So I'm still active in production, but it's all scalable because there's a method to the madness. All right. How much time do we got?
We got a little time, Janine. You want to do questions?
Sure.
All right, cool. I'm gonna kick it off on the question side. So, um, interestingly enough, so I think you talked about 1,000 postcards equals 3 calls. So, being kind of a metrics nerd that I am, on those 3 calls, how's your conversion rate on those 3 calls?
I don't call, right?
No, no, that they call you, right? So you've sent 1,000 postcards. It generated 3 calls to you. That's the way I interpreted it. So
Okay.
yeah, so are you converting all 3 of those into listings or buys or whatever?
Every single one of my referrals generally closes. Unless something happens with them where they're putting, their decision on hold. If I
Okay,
get a referral, that referral closes. That
got
referral
it.
is because it's a warm handoff, right?
Yeah.
Referrals are some of the most amazing ones that you can have because it's a whole lot less like hard. There was actually some interesting stats, and I don't know if I have them handy, but essentially it went over where sellers are getting um, their agent from. Most of them only interview one, right? I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of these stats. When you are the only one, that's amazing, right?
So no, that's perfect. So you're converting basically 100% of those calls that are calling you, which is dynamite. So let's
Yeah,
go
I would
to
never say
Tracy.
100 because I think 100 is always the fake one, right? I mean, you can never have
Right.
100, but it's like it's a warm handoff unless something changes on their end.
Yeah, it reminds me
Yeah.
of the 300 Google reviews have, and everybody they're all 5 stars. Well, that's not realistic because you just I can't please everybody. So all right, let's. Tracy's got a great question. So where do you get your postcards from?
So funny story. I do a lot of mail. Obviously, I got my start in geographic farming. I used to have a local printer that did them. And as I started scaling up, started looking at what else can I do? Fast forward to 2023, I do now own a software that has unlimited free printed postcards that I use personally for my real estate business. So since the hyperlocal agent is the training entity, we created what we call GeoCentral, which you saw on the slides, the logo. GeoCentral is truly focused on geographic farming, direct mail marketing. There's Donna. She's like, yeah, GeoCentral is the best. Thank you.
Is,
It was a dream that I just wanted to make sure I eliminate postcard companies for upcharges, and
got
that's
it.
what we
So
created.
so what's the link? How do people find Geo Central?
GeoCentral.com.
Geocentral.com. You guys, Donna gave us the spelling on there, so that's awesome. Tammy loves it too. Is that also, and again, I want to try to get as many questions in a limited time, but is that also how you automate the system through GeoCentral?
Everything is automated, yeah. So my birthdays go out on autopilot. I do have an entire text messages that go out on autopilot on it for my past clients. So it's anniversaries, automated. Like I have
Cool.
never been so caught up because I used to do it manually, right? And for those of you on here saying, okay, I don't need another program, I couldn't agree more. If you're just getting started, right? It does do everything. Yes. It is a wonderful candy land of amazing things. But yeah, I'll put the link in there.
So you and I talked, and so is GeoCentral also your CRM?
GeoCentral is my CRM.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, there's Frank, geocentral.com. It's right there, Frank. So he was asking about it. So that's cool. All right, good. A couple people put that in there. Mari's got it in there too. She must have found it. So did Tony. Okay, good. You and I had an interesting conversation, and we're still open for more questions. But you and I, Janine, had an interesting conversation about a little test that you're doing this year relative to and I guess I'm gonna, before I get into that conversation, if I know that I mail 1,000 postcards and I get three listings, buys, whatever it is, we know the ROI on that's pretty solid. Why wouldn't I mail 2,000 postcards? And then is the answer to that more because it's maybe my sphere of influence just isn't 2,000 people? I mean, like why wouldn't I just mail double the mailer and double the results?
Because we don't have magic money trees in the backyard.
Okay,
In all honesty, right? So if you look at, I always like I get asked, like, what's the ROI on this, right? How many listings did you get? What you get here? And it's like, I think a lot more people are starting to understand the concept of omnipresent marketing. If I tell you I sent this out one time and it's like it got three listings and this and that, right? Chances are they may have seen me somewhere else, right? Maybe they've been on my email list. Maybe they have seen my sign in the neighborhood. Maybe they have talked to a friend that actually worked with me, right? So the concept of one thing attributed to ROI is so old school that it's really we need to like get away from that because we're so inundated with mail and all, and advertising. There's like advertising stats out there that currently we are at an all-time high. It's crazy. But if you look at, how many of these, I do track everything I do back to, okay, was mail involved in it, right? And I've been tracking my direct mail stats since, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago or something like that. So what I want to know at the end of the day is how many did I send? How many did I spend? And what did I get on the other side?
sure.
That's like the biggest ones for me. And if you don't get a lead, like I do cold marketing too, obviously. Um, like I have both of these in there, and both of these numbers are kind of like intermingled. So I would love to tell you I have like only my SOI stats. But here's the thing, right? You can lead a horse to water, you can't force it to drink.
Sure.
You cannot make your past clients move. You cannot make your past clients refer you, right? Hey, you need to have good service. I know, right? You're like, come on, refer me.
Come on, you gotta
Um,
move.
it is one of those things that I wish we could make people do stuff. How many of you guys have tried to make your spouse do something, to make your children do something? It's impossible. So it's just a matter of, okay, well, if you can't make them do it, you have to make sure that you're remaining in front of them for that natural conclusion, right? As a
Sure.
past client, of like, I trusted her once. And there's a mentality behind it when it comes to strengthening referral likeliness. But it's sadly not a you have to use me because you used me before.
Okay. All right. We are at 104, so we're a little over our time. Looks like the questions stopped trickling in. So first of all, Janine, thank you very, very much for your time, your presentation, your effort. It sounds like you've got a lot more to give if people were to certainly look up the website. Do you want to throw a minute plug as far as the book and where that's at?
Just say, I just put it in the chat. So Amazon, it does have the Kindle version currently only on pre-order. Yes, there's a physical book copy coming. Let's see. I did joke around with Rich. I said, I made you a fake book because I'm still waiting on my author copy. Like I wrapped another book, and I'm like, but this is essentially what it will look like. It is
That's
right
funny.
in line with the other two, so it'll be the same size and glossy and shiny and beautiful. But that's it. That's the new one. And like I said, there will be 30 plus ones in there. It's gonna be exciting.
Tracy said she doesn't see the link for the book. It's actually above. And then Tony will put that out. So we'll put that out as well. Now, we're also going to send you an email that's going to have our survey. We like our surveys filled out because it gives us a lot of feedback. We're also preparing our presentations for next year. So here's what I'm going to do in the survey. We have not done this before in our surveys. If you guys complete the surveys, we're going to do a drawing. We're going to do two things. Tony doesn't even know this because I talked about one. We're going to do a drawing for completed surveys only, meaning that all the questions get answered. If we get a completed survey, your name will go on the wheel. Tony will pull it live on Facebook, likely tomorrow. And what we're going to do is give one person a $25 Amazon gift card, and then we're going to buy the book for another person. So we'll get a free opportunity at the book. So another sale for you, Janine. So Mari bought the book. So, Mari, if her name comes up, then, we'll have to work that out, Mari. But if you guys have anything else, let's see here. Oh, Brian, I do believe there's an audio available on the book. She mentioned Kindle. If you pre-order only, I guess, right? That's kind of weird. It's quirky.
So the audio version, it might not be the 28th because I can't create an audio version on a pre-order. So I'm gonna have to launch it and then we're gonna hopefully get to that one.
Okay.
Um, and Mari said she already ordered, she got all three. I wasn't gonna talk about it, but there is a fourth.
Fourth book coming. What? You're
Fourth.
crazy. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you again, Janine. I really, really appreciate the time. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming. And as I always close with this, none of this stuff happens without Tony. So, Tony, thank you very much for tying up all the loose ends, coordinating everything, and getting us here. Guys, if you need anything else on the mortgage side, we're there for you. And hopefully, this gave you one idea, one other thing that's going to help you close one more deal in the next 12 months. That's always our goal. And looks like we've got, there you go. All right, so cashier's check. Mr. Capasso wants us to send him the check. Yes, Frank, you're getting an Amazon gift card. Just deal with it. So, all right, guys, I will talk to you later. Janine, thank you. Tony, thank you. You guys have a great one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.